Well, at this point, his options are not clear, and the key difference between this situation, Greeny, and Jameis Winston's is that Cam Newton is not looking for a job because of poor performance. He's looking for a job because he has had poor health, as you mentioned, right? You can bring in Jameis Winston right now and know what you're getting, the good and the bad of it. But if you wanted to sign Cam Newton right now, you don't know what you're getting because this is a guy that just missed basically an entire season with a foot injury. And we're talking about a quarterback in Cam Newton, a lot of whose success has come as a result of his being able to run the ball. So if you're going to sign Cam Newton and you can't figure out for yourself how healthy that foot is, what kind of runner he still is, you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what the price should be for the contract. So because of all that, and because of the lack of real clear starting quarterback opportunities around the league right now, there hasn't been a lot of action on Cam Newton, and he may have to wait a while before his situation clears up and we figure out what level of interest he's going to get from teams.
You know, one of the teams you were assigned to deal with during the draft was the Chargers. And, of course, that was one of the places we had speculated about. They wound up drafting the quarterback in the first round in Justin Herbert. I assume that closes that door completely?
Yes, I assume the same thing. And talking to people there, it seems very unlikely that they would go down the Cam Newton road. I mean, this is the whole point, right? Like, you can't create a starting quarterback opportunity out of thin air. If the Broncos want to go with Drew Lock and the Jaguars want to go with Gardner Minshew and the Patriots want to go with Jarrett Stidham, you could go in there as Cam Newton and say, hey, I'm better than all these guys, and you may be right, but that doesn't mean you're going to change their minds, and that's the landscape that's in front of Cam Newton right now.
Right, okay, so I'm very glad you mentioned the Patriots. Ryan Clark, one of the casinos that I saw, one of the people who put out odds out in Vegas yesterday, listed the Patriots as the favorites to bring in Cam Newton at this point. Would that make sense to you looking at the circumstances New England is in the quarterback room?
I absolutely feel like it would make sense, but it has to make sense to the New England Patriots. It has to make sense to Bill Belichick. When you look at this quarterback room led by Jarrett Stidham, there's not a lot of talent in that room. And if he's going to be your starter, there's absolutely no experience. And looking at this team and what they were down the stretch, we saw that they didn't have options on the outside. So if you can bring in a quarterback with those type of skills that you can put in run-pass option situations where you can implement RPOs and actually have a little bit of trickery or at least something to stand on, which would be a running game for the New England Patriots that Cam Newton can absolutely add to, I believe it would be advantageous for you to bring him in. But we all know that the Patriots and Bill Belichick have a plan, and if Jarrett Stidham is a focal point of that plan, I believe that's the way they'll go forward. The thing that hurts Cam Newton is we can't get teams into OTAs. They can't have their mini camps right now so they can see just how bad their quarterback room and start to loan for him. So he may have to wait a little while.
What do you think, Domonique?
Yeah, I mean, the days after Cam Newton was released, I was one of the people saying that I love him in New England and with the Patriots, and I think it makes sense from on-field perspective, but the Patriots don't have any money. They got less than $1 million in cap space, and I'm not sure if they can pull off the maneuvers to open up enough space to sign Cam Newton. If Cam Newton's willing to reestablish his value as a starter in this league, there's only one place that I think a job is open. It's in New England, and if Cam Newton is willing to take a significant pay cut to do that, then maybe he could end up in New England, but I can't see it working out there from a financial standpoint because someone would be willing to pay him a lot more to back up their quarterback for a season, like a Jameis Winston situation down in New England. Maybe he ends up behind Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh, somebody that or a team that could use him just in case their older quarterback is a bit injury prone or injury risk.
What I guess we don't know, and RC, there's really no way to know it, is where is Cam's head relative to that? Does he envision himself as someone who's going to go to Pittsburgh and be Ben Roethlisberger's backup?
You know, I don't necessarily know, and I also don't know if you want Cam Newton being the backup. Right. And that's not to say that he can't be a great teammate or he won't be great in the room, but the minute your quarterback isn't playing well, the minute that he's a little banged up and Cam Newton's on the bench, there are going to be people that want him in the game as a fan base. As a coach, you're going to start to question, man, what if we put Cam in? And so I think that some of the decisions that Cam Newton being a backup quarterback will force you to make might not be worth it to your organization.
Yeah, I mean, the draft has come and gone, and it still may be a while before Cam Newton finds a team. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.